Hi, Kate.
Hey.
Hi, guys. Pete, how's everybody? How's your week this week, guys?
I
Maybe
just
this
got my
one.
wedding photos back
I
yesterday.
was just gonna say it's your 1 month wedding anniversary, right?
As of yesterday.
Oh,
We
yay!
just got the photos back though. They're
Okay.
awesome.
Like, where are they? Are they digital?
Yeah, they're all on my computer now.
Okay, can you post one to the team page so we can all love on you?
The team page?
Yeah. I feel like Kate told me I had to, or I'm actually removed from the team page. So, some bossy like that. Hi, Carol Ann. How are you feeling?
Better now.
You are? Are you?
Yeah, a little bit more relieved. There's probably not going to be a last round of chemo. Basically, well, it's kind of good and bad.
Okay.
My hemoglobin tanked
Oh,
like suddenly and like unexplained. And so they had to do more blood work and just to like check to see if I'm actually creating red blood cells. So the good news is my bone marrow is in fact making red blood cells.
okay.
But my body is destroying them faster than my bone marrow can make it. So now I'm on a major dose of prednisone, which is a steroid, which is not really good, but it's short term, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And folic acid because that helps your body to absorb the iron and the red blood cells.
Okay.
So I go back on Friday for more blood work, and we'll see where things go from there.
Okay.
But they think that it's one of the chemo drugs that actually caused this. It's just not normal that it's this late in treatment that they see it. It does happen,
Sure.
but usually it's like at the beginning
Right.
or like a few months after, not like at the end of chemo. So,
Right.
but I'm okay with not ringing the bell if it means I don't have to go back there.
That's true. We can ring the bell for you next Tuesday. How about that?
Right? That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll all show up with bells on and we'll ring them for you. So,
Love it.
can you message me on Friday after you get your, like after your appointment?
Of course.
Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, since none of you voted on whether we're gonna play a game or not, I'm just gonna be bossy and make you. Okay, so next time you better vote. You need a piece of paper, scrap paper, or whatever, and a pencil or pen, and then a writing surface, like a book or something. So maybe hi. I already said hi, Tony. Hi, Nicole. Who else is here? My grid is being weird. Hi, Evie. Hi, Alexandra. Baby's staying way up past her bedtime to join us tonight. No, it would be for me. I mean, I'd be laying in bed playing games on my phone. I'm like a really big phone game nerd person. So, but you're just up and about and it's 10:30, like it's no big deal. Okay, tell me when you guys are ready. Throw your hands up. Those of you with no cameras, I just hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, just tell me. Amy, can you just tell me you're ready? And Nicole? Hi, Nicole. You ready? Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. That was Amy, right? Or was that Nicole?
Oh, that was me.
Oh.
Yep.
Amy, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, honey. Okay, you guys ready? Write down the letters A to Z real quick with space to write in between them.
A to what?
A to Z, the alphabet. If someone else wants to run a game next time, you guys, like, come on in. Okay, I'm gonna get my timer ready. This is gonna be a quick one. Just a little 2 minute. Timer. Whoa, it's not 4 hours. Okay. I trust that you guys didn't take longer than that to write down the alphabet. Okay, we're gonna play Scentsy categories. Okay. No one else is that excited? Okay, rude. Okay, so you guys are going to write down just a word that has to do with Scentsy that starts with one of those letters, or all of those letters, as many as you can. I'm going to start the timer. Whoever has the most words at the end of it gets to pick one of my books, and I'm going to mail it to you. Okay? Ready, set, go. Fifteen seconds. All right. Okay, guys, I tried to play that too. Full disclosure, I got like 7 things. Like, I'm really bad at this game. I'm assuming, Tony, you didn't do very good either, the way you were giggling. You're muted, girl. What'd you do, Megan? I didn't see it. That's good. That's really good. Okay, how many did you get, guys? Put up your hands. And those of you who are off camera.
13.
14.
I got 15.
I got 13.
16.
What? Katie, you got 10? Tony, what'd you get? You're muted.
I got 9.
Okay, well, you did better than me. So, okay, Megan, you're the winner.
Woo!
So Megan, I'll show you my books after too, and then you can pick from them. Guys, like, how? I literally live, eat, and breathe sense basically. I was like, what's a letter? What's a word for K? Like, I couldn't think of it at all. So congratulations to all of you who are smarter and quicker thinkers than me, which is literally all of you. Okay. Okay, leg 3 coaching. So I apologize. I just realized as I was writing this out, I have not uploaded, I don't think, the other 2 to YouTube yet. I may have done this elsewhere, but I definitely didn't do Cheryl Bass last week, which was killer for those of you guys who were here. She just, speaking of Cheryl Beth, just earned the annual mentor award for 2020. Guys, we have until the end of April to earn that award, so she earned it like 5 months early. Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's really hard to earn it in the 12 months. She's like, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it in like 7. So when I do upload it and if you haven't seen it or you weren't here, make sure you go watch it because she obviously has some really good things to say about it. Maybe loved it. We talked about it after. Maybe posted about it after on the team page, just about the different insights that CB has for us. So I love that. So you guys know what the 3 legs thing looks like, right? I didn't have any foresight enough to like print it out. It's a stool with 3 legs, okay? And your stool is your, like the stool seat is your business. You want to have a strong, solid business, right? You don't want something that's going to go like this. And you don't want a stool with 2 legs because, as we know, if you're not doing one of those legs consistently, you fall on your ass, right? So we want a nice, strong business. We are talking about coaching today. And honestly, guys, we do not talk about this enough, and that is a fault of my own. And I will go full disclosure here before we get into go into this, saying that I personally have actually dropped off my coaching consistency as well. Those of you who did coach with me before back in the spring, you'll know this because I started to and I amped it up and I shared my link. And then for one reason or another, I'm going to assume it was a little bit of confidence. I'm going to assume it was just my problems with inconsistency. I stopped offering them. So this whole training that I had to write out, I was literally like, as usual, you guys are used to this, writing it out for myself as well as you guys, okay? So we're all in this together. Like a High School Musical song. Anyways, who has either not coached with their upline or not coached their downline because they're afraid of it? Because like coaching sounds scary, whether you're coaching, with up or coaching someone. If you're scared of doing that and you haven't done it, raise your hand. Guys, we as star directors have the opportunity to coach with like home office people. And so for those of you who were around before, I used to coach with Tracy Casey, who was like the star director, like liaison sort of. And I did it for a little bit, and then guys, I stopped because like accountability was a little bit scary. I was just like a stubborn little child where I was like, I want to be able to fail and not reach my goals and not have to talk about it. Like that's how I was. So I get it if that's where you are too. But I will also tell you that when I did have to make that phone call to her, or I knew that phone call was coming up when I was doing them, guys, I would hustle my freaking business so that I had something to tell her when we had to talk again. So if you are in that spot right now, if you're worried, whether you're going up or down, don't worry, you are not alone. Okay, so let's talk about why we want to coach our people. So I'm going to talk most of this training is about why you're going to coach your downline. Okay, so when you recruit someone, it is your responsibility to, I wouldn't say train them because Sensi does a marvelous job of doing that, but it's your responsibility to coach them. So most of this training is going to be about that. Then I'm going to be talking to you coachees at the end, okay? And sort of how to get the most out of those coaching sessions. So why do we coach? I love the analogy, and I've heard it a couple times from other leaders, of coaches versus cheerleaders. You guys know me, I'm a bit of a hard ass. I know sometimes it rubs people the wrong way. I can be a cheerleader, sure, but I do prefer sort of like real love, okay? And someone recently said, cheerleaders don't help the team win, which is true, right? They cheer after the coach helps the player score. Cheering without coaching isn't giving your team the real opportunity to score. So if you're just over there at the sidelines, like rah-rahing, but not actually giving them the tools to succeed, you are not doing them any favors. And that's sort of where I come from too. So I promise you guys, when I give you tough love, or I tell you how it is, or I tell you that you haven't been doing what I know you're capable of doing, I promise it all comes from love, okay? So it is, like I said, a sponsor's responsibility to give our teams the tools to be successful. And that does not have to be scary. So we're going to go through how to do that. So who do you want to coach? Who do you want to spend your time with? First of all, especially because we now have directors spreading up in the group, you want to focus on your team. So those who you are the director for, this makes it duplicatable because eventually some of you guys are going to have teams in the hundreds and then in the thousands, and you don't want to be, you can't physically be coaching every single one of those people or every single one who wants to show up out of those thousands of people. So you really focus on your team, and then when you have a baby director grow under you, they can focus on their team. Okay, so for you guys to understand sort of how it works, like I am the star director of this group, Team Over the Rainbow, but Gina Masters is a director under me. So she has her team. I'm not going to coach anyone under her because that's her responsibility to coach under her. Kayla is under Gina. So now Gina doesn't have to worry about anyone under Kayla because Kayla can handle that. Same thing goes with Teresa's leg, okay? So that, I hope, allows you guys to see into the future and sort of see how manageable running a team can be and leading a team can be, because it's not, you're not actually leading thousands of people one-on-one. That's impossible. So anyway, so start with team and then work with those who are willing to show up and do the work. And guys, that's like very, very, like maybe 10%. Okay, maybe 20 if you have a high percentage of people who are willing to show up and do the work. I used to make the mistake quite often of literally dragging those like on a ball and chain behind me who I wanted it more than they did. So I would force like goals onto them almost. I'd be like, you have such great potential, just do those things. Guys, that's a waste of everyone's time. It is a hard lesson I've had to learn over the years. Trust me, they don't want you doing that either. So it is not a mean thing to only show up for those who will show up for you, okay? Putting goals on other people or trying to like drag people along who just don't want to be there, like you're wasting everyone's time, including theirs, okay? So if you're coming from actual love, you need to like really handle that first. Make sure that you are only working with the people who want to be worked with. And sometimes you don't know that until you start coaching them. And then you see whether they are showing up continuously, okay, and doing the work they say they're going to do. It is not mean, like I said, to hold people accountable. You're actually doing them a disservice if you don't. They would otherwise learn that they are not responsible or even in control of their own work or effort or results. Okay, you sort of, you know that saying where you teach people how to treat you? You're sort of teaching people how to be business owners when you're coaching them, right? Or when you're leading them. So if you teach them that showing up to a coaching call, but then not doing any work after is being a business owner, you're steering them in the wrong direction. So it's not doing them a service just to slot in a 15-minute time just because you think it's the nice thing to do. Coaching calls are business times, okay? Unless you're me and Tony, then it's out of control. That was like a 45-minute coaching call, wasn't it, Tony? So this could lead, if you don't kind of hold them accountable, and I'm talking about the people who show up to calls and then just like do nothing, and then they show up for the call the next week and they're like, oh, I didn't do anything, like over and over again. It turns into, if you allow that, it turns into repetitive procrastinating and poor results and repeating yourself over and over to no avail. Everyone ends up frustrated, guys, including them. I'm really going to stress on how it affects your team because that's where you should be coming from as a coach, okay? Now this does not necessarily mean only people, I'm talking about who you're focusing on, who have high sales or recruit a lot or anything like that. I'm not talking about those who show up in those sets with results. I'm talking about literally anyone who is willing to do the work for whatever goals they set for themselves, because that is our jobs, right? Not every player on the field, if we're going with that coach and player analogy, are going to be the one that score all the goals, right? You need some defensemen in there. All different players have all different ways to show up for the team. And show up for themselves is what we're really talking about. So if their goal is to just hit, 200 PRV or 500 PRV every month, and they are willing to do the work that you place in, or that you help them sort of, come up with, and they're willing to do that, those are the people who I'm talking about. That's still willing to do the work, even if it's little work, right? And then you'll have people who are like, I want to hit director in 6 months, and then you'll work with them a little bit differently. So the way to find this, like who to work with, first, start with like running your report. When you build a team, you need to be running that downline report at least once a week, okay? Anyone who has recruited ever is worth working with because that's very, very rare, okay? Anyone who has 500 PRV or more, or even 200 PRV or more if you have a smaller team, consistently for a couple months, you should be working with them. Anyone who just stands out to you, who has, I don't know, when you report, it's going to look different for every person or every team, I guess. Then, not just results based. Work with those who show up. That is literally you guys here. Okay, those who are just attending all the things. Those who are registering for the Sensi events. Who's registered for World Tour?
Me.
Yay! Nicole, you too? Oh yeah, all of us.
No,
Oh,
I missed it by accident. I didn't mean to.
you can still register, girl. You just won't get the little the kit, the spirit kit.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, good. It's really cheap right now too. The spirit kit costs a few more bucks. What is it, like $13 or something right now? I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, something like that. So get on it. Maybe I'll post on the
Okay.
team page again too, and just put a reminder.
Okay.
Those who show up, you guys are all willing to take away from your casual time, your downtime, your sleep, your rest, your children, your husbands, your girlfriends, your whatever, right now, in order to train yourself and absorb any kind of random rambling knowledge that's going to come out of my head. That's a big deal. Okay, so anyone who does that on your team deserves to be coached. And those who sign up. So I'm going to talk to you about how to literally turn a coaching call thing into a system that works for you and that's duplicatable and that you can kind of set and forget. You don't have to worry about remembering, especially if you have a Dory brain like me, okay? So work obviously with anyone who signs up to your coaching program, like your coaching system. And then of course, hold them accountable and honestly drop them like they're hot if they're not going to actually do the work that they say they're going to do, okay? For all the reasons we already said, because it's not doing them any favors by dragging them along, all right? Does anyone have any questions so far before I move on to the how? There's a lot of hows. And then some tips. No, you guys good? Okay. So, I do my coaching program. It sounds scary, guys. It's honestly just a system that, like I said, I set and forget through calendly.com. Okay? I'll just post the thing, or I'll put it in the chat. It's basically an auto scheduler. So I can go in and I can put in what times I am available throughout the month or throughout the week, like the weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I can either change it however many times I want, or I just let it roll on for 3 months. So if I know I'm going to be available every Tuesday at 10 a.m., I can just let it go. I think actually you can set an end date for like 6 months down the road. So that's beautiful because I work from home, so I know my schedule already ahead of time. Then if like we're going on a trip or something like that, I can literally just put like not available this week. Like I can just go in and edit it that I'm not available that day or whatever. So people can actually go on to Calendly and sign up to one of my available slots. So Caroline wants to coach with me. Great. She's going to go to my link that I sent her, which is like calendly.com/coach with Kate, because like that's cute. And then she's just going to sign up to one of my little available times that I have. Hi, Jordana. Once Caroline signs up, I actually get an email notifying me, hey, you have a new event with Calendly. Caroline has signed up to your Tuesday at 10:35 or whatever. That email I use as a prompt to send Carol Ann a coaching form. It's a Google form. I make right on Google. If you don't know how to do that, Google how to make a Google form. So I send her an email with that Google form based on her title. So each title will get a different form to fill out. It's just a little quick survey. It starts with, like, do you know the compensation plan for your title? If you don't, here's a link, because all of that compensation plan training is in the workstation, guys. So I just linked that. Then there's a couple of comp plan images breaking down what her goals are to be paid a title and then what her goal is to promote. And then there's actually an image of the 3 legs of success, because hello, that's what our whole businesses should be based on. Anyway, so I email her that form. Then there's a survey under it that just asks her like what her goals are right now, what is she working towards right now, what are the obstacles in her life, blah 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 blah. So she has to fill that out in order to confirm her appointment. Okay, if she doesn't fill that out before, I think, Tony, what was my deadline? 24 hours beforehand, I think. Yeah, I was a little bit lenient on it because like life happens.
Yeah.
So 24 hours beforehand is when I would prefer to have that back so that I could be set up to coach you for success, right? That's the whole point. So she has to reply to that, and I'll get an email notifying me when she responds to the survey in order to confirm the appointment. Then at the time scheduled, so at the time that she chose, she calls me. Okay, I don't call her. She calls me or it doesn't happen. And this really like is a make or break situation for people who really want it and people who say they want it, who don't actually want it. So again, and it also is just duplicatable, okay? Sorry, Facebook notifications. So who understands all of that I just said? The Calendly thing, the Google form. Who has questions about any of that? I know it sounds really techy and complicated, you guys, but I promise once you like dig into these programs, it's really, really easy. And when you make this an actual system that I refused to make because it sounded overwhelming, so I didn't do it for like the first 5 years that I'd heard about this. So I was like, coaching systems, that sounds like professionals. Like I just wasn't, it wasn't like me until I sort of got over myself and realized it's not about me anyways, right? It's about you guys. It is what's best for my team. And if making an actual system that I can hopefully this time stay consistent with is better for you guys, then I had to suck it up and make it happen. And honestly, I'm not techie, and it was really, really easy to do. Now, there are forms that you guys saw, I think, hopefully, me upload in the team page earlier to help you coach your people per title. So even if you joined yesterday and you're coaching a teammate today, you can still coach them effectively. You do not have to be the expert. You do not have to know everything. You don't have to know anything, really. You have to know how to read a piece of paper and help them set some goals, okay? So I highly suggest printing out all those forms that I posted on Team OTR earlier and just have them ready in a little coaching binder. And that way, if you're coaching Mandy and she's trying to work from lead to star, you have your little coach them from lead to star form right in front of you. So you can be like, okay, Mandy, what are we working on next? And just help them. And honestly, guys, it's really as simple as walking them through the 3 legs of success anyways. I'm going to talk about that till my head pops off, because that's honestly the very basics of our business. So as long as they have sort of a little goal for the week of each 3 legs, then they're fine. And then you've done your job, okay? So I will also tell you, this is one for me big time, that this is not a time for chit chat, okay? I love you guys, so it's so hard. I could just chat with you all day. But again, the coach does not show up to practice talking to each player about how their family life is going for 45 minutes, okay? Or each practice would be 45 days. This is a time for business. It's business time. Find other ways to connect, okay? Other times and ways to connect. Really, really have a strict start and end time, which is what I definitely will be implementing. Wendy Newgrass, who's one of the nicest, caring people ever, said that she really sticks to her time. So if she has a 15-minute time slot for somebody and they call her 10 minutes late, they have 5 minutes now to talk. She said she really, really, really is very strict about that. So if someone who's really nice like that could do that, then I'm not very nice and I can do that. It's really just about respecting your time and also respecting theirs when it comes down to it, okay? And they'll learn next time not to be late. So some random tips. If you guys have questions, just unmute yourselves and interrupt me, okay? Be consistent, Kate. Okay? I need you guys to help me with this too. So if I haven't posted my coaching link in a little while, or you've lost it or whatever and you need it and I'm your director, remind me. Kate, I need that link. We need to set up a time. But I will honestly try and be consistent just myself. Keep offering, even, especially especially for you newer leaders, even if no one partakes at first, okay? Keep offering it, just like our meeting here. Sometimes we have one person, sometimes we have 3, sometimes we have 15. Honestly, it's showing up each week for your team. That's what counts. That's what matters, okay? I'll say it for the 14th time, hold them accountable. Ask them if they haven't hit their goals since the week before, what have they learned in not hitting their goals? Something I heard from your Virtual Upline podcast last week was, it's not really about the goal necessarily, it's about becoming the person who hits those goals each time you try. So even if you don't quite manage to reach that exact pinnacle, it's about becoming the type of person who is at least reaching for that pinnacle. And I thought that was really profound. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And it sort of takes the onus off of that, did you hit your goal? So my next thing is really try and go for effort-based goals while you're coaching them. And that way you can actually check in with them the week after, the month after, whatever time you guys have set. And it isn't like, hey, did you get your 500 PRV in? It's like, hey, how many recruiting conversations did you have? Or how many hosting conversations did you have? Because everybody has control over their effort, right? Not everyone has control over their recruiting. I talk about the opportunity every single day. I have 0 recruits this month. I can't control who joins my team right now. All I can control is my effort around that topic, okay? So I would really highly, while you're coaching your people, focus on effort-based. That also takes pressure off, right? Of them being like, oh, I'm trying to hit my goal, someone buy a 6-pack, ew. If they didn't hit their goal, like I said, or if they didn't do, what they said they would do, so we're talking about effort-based, find out why, be empathetic, there might be a very genuine reason, and then help them try again. If you are finding that this is happening over and over and over again, and there's just a lot of excuses over action, then you might be kicking a dead cat around the yard. Okay, and it might be sort of time to be like, you know what? I don't think that you need me right now as far as a coach goes. I'm always here for you as a friend, and we'll connect in other ways until you can sort of find the motivation to start doing the things that you tell me you're going to do. Okay, that is not mean. That is totally respectable. Okay, sometimes people do legitimately have things going on in their life where they can't make it happen right now. That's totally fine. Sometimes other people are just feeling lazy and they don't feel like it right now. That's also legitimate, but you're not going to waste your time or theirs showing up to weekly coaching calls and doing that. Okay, you guys can connect on Facebook. Have them, this is another tip I learned from your Virtual Upline podcast, subscribe, okay? Have them set their own minimum baseline effort. He calls it the minimum baseline method because each person will be different. As a leader, you guys see me all the time. You should hit this, you should do this, you should be doing this. This is the exact number of conversations you should be having, right? That kind of effort is going to look different for Mandy than it is for Megan. So that isn't really fair to come at people like that. And of course, on a team page, I sort of have to generalize, right? But when you are on one-on-one coaching, he talked about having them pick the minimum number of IPAs that they will do that week. Again, we're talking effort-based, okay? Based on the 3 legs, again. So ask them how many, parties are they going to book, or conversations about parties that they're going to book. How many recruiting conversations are they going to have? Are they going to be talking to if you're not their direct sponsor, are they going to be talking to their sponsor? How many conversations will they be having with their downline? That kind of stuff. They pick the number. So if their minimum baseline that they know for sure they can do effort is 1, 1, and 1, one recruiting conversation, 1 hosting conversation, and 1 follow-up that week, girlfriend, go get it. Okay, just allow them to pick that. Again, if you know you have a hustler and they're being lazy or they're lowballing it, you're allowed to push them a little bit. But if you have someone who has a confidence problem, guess what's going to happen when you set a really high number for them and then they fail to achieve it? You're going to confirm what they think they already know about themselves, that they're a big fat loser that can't even meet your minimum baseline efforts, right? So having them take control over what they think that they can do, sort of gives them a little bit of entitlement over it too, a little bit of ownership. And as people, I feel like we always sort of lowball our goals anyways, guys. So if they start achieving these baseline amounts, these minimum amounts, their confidence is going to grow, and then over time, their baseline will start to increase. Rather than starting high and then like putting their confidence through the ground, and then them fizzling out or giving up or just being frustrated, start low, have them start low, and then have them start increasing it when you both feel it's ready. Like you can sort of like encourage and push a little bit, of course, but it has to be their number, okay? Who has questions before we move on to coachees? You people who are going to be coached. No, you're good? You're good? Okay. So, why you guys want to be coached? Okay, these are all sort of a little bit of why and also some tips. First of all, 3 things. If your sponsor or director offers, sign the freak up, okay? There's nothing worse than like putting your link out and just like hearing crickets and seeing tumbleweeds blow by, all right? You're like, cool guys, I guess I'll just be available for the rest of my life for nothing, right? It's like signing up to harmony.com and like, or Tinder, people just keep swiping, like just come on, just sign up to our links. We're here for you, okay? I'm not coaching you guys to hear my own nasally ass voice, okay? I want to coach you guys. Then, if you sign up, show up on time. This is someone who's perpetually late, so like I get it, okay? But like if you sign up, show up. I've had people sign up for their things, confirm all the stuff, fill out the survey, and then never call. Like I'm like waiting to buy my phone. So I was like ghosted. It's like a blind date where they don't show up. That's what happened to me. So if you sign up, show up. Don't waste people's time. Then, if you show up, do the work you say you will do, especially if you're the one setting your own effort-based baseline amount thing, okay? Otherwise, like, why show up? Honestly, why go through the trouble if you're just gonna not do it? Will life happen? Absolutely, okay? Life will throw you curveballs, and I'm not talking about those instances. I'm talking about, like, playing Candy Crush or whatever else you're playing on your phone these days, or like Netflix and chill instead of doing what you say you're going to do, okay? So if you show up, do the work you say you're going to do. Businesses are not grown through training and coaching alone, okay? A lot of us, and I've talked about this before, fall into the analysis paralysis trap where we are doing busy work or we're training or we're filling our heads with knowledge and we think that we're busy, we think that we're being professionals. But if you literally just keep all that knowledge up there on your computer or on your notepad and don't actually put it into action, like nothing changes. So you need to do the work that we go over in our coaching call. So if you say that you're going to have 5 hosting conversations this week, do it. It literally takes like less than 5 minutes. Copy paste that shit, okay? Just make it happen. Coaching, like your coaches aren't going to train you. So I want to make that very clear as coaches and coachees. Don't expect to show up to your 15-minute time slot and hear an entire breakdown on recruiting. Their job is to keep you accountable, help you set those realistic and achievable goals, okay? And then allow you to show up next week and talk about what your roadblocks were, like what happened, and then sort of talk through it. Think of them as like an accountability partner. So if you haven't started coaching your team yet because you think it sounds scary, because like coaching sounds so like rigid, honestly, Wendy Newgrass calls them connection sessions or something. So she just like it sounds more like fluffy. You could just call them accountability sessions or accountability partner sessions. That's what they really are. Okay, they're to hold you accountable and sort of like allow you a space to talk through what you're going through in your business. This method, you guys, like actually showing up to coaching calls consistently, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, something like that, can take your businesses to completely new levels. Especially because most of the time as humans, because we're all items, most of the time our roadblocks are honestly just like procrastination, a little bit of laziness maybe with me, a little bit of confidence problems. That's probably most of us. So we don't want to set, 100%. So we don't want to like try for that next level or that next hard thing or the whatever it is, because we sort of already feel like losers sometimes. And if we try for those things and then fail, then it's like confirmed, big fat L, right? Like, so having an accountability partner can sort of just help you work through those things, okay? I'm not sure if you guys know, but like leading is also a little bit of like mental health therapy, apparently. I had a leader come to me last week and she's like, oh, I don't need to be treating you like, what did she call it? Like a therapist or something. And I was like, oh no, girl, that's part of the job. That's like literally it. So expect that as you're growing your team, okay? I'll guarantee you guys, like literally, especially those of you who are showing up or watching the recording, still counts, okay? You're capable of like way more than what all of you guys are actually allowing yourself to become right now. And like the more I get to know every single one of you, I mean, I know some of you really well already because we've known each other for years, but the more I get to know some of you, the more that that's very apparent. And I want to scream from the rooftops because like, you're just not like getting there. Like you're just not, going to that next level. So these coaching sessions, and not necessarily with me, I'm talking about with whoever your sponsor is or whoever your director is. Because it's not the person necessarily at the other end of the line. It's literally the actions that are taken, okay? Or the conversation that is held. And every leader, every human has value to give, okay? So know that as well. As coaches, you do not have to be this incredible motivational speaker. I'm not saying that's what I am. In order to like add value to the people you're coaching, you have to literally show up for them and have them show up for you. And then when that happens, like magic happens, right? So I think that's basically it. I rambled for a little bit, so I think I skipped some notes, but does that help you guys feel a little bit less scared of like coaching and being coached? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone
Yep.
have any questions about
Yes.
any of it? Yes, go ahead.
I don't have a team, obviously, but when I do, apparently I will get emails from head office on how to coach my first recruit. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you'll get a really quick, this is what your recruit has already been told. So when someone joins Encino, they get an email that's like, here's where you're working towards right now. And then as a leader, you'll get an email from home office being like, here's what we told your new teammate that they are working towards right now. So obviously home office will tell them that they need to work on their shooting star and their sensational start and towards certified. And then they have that first things first checklist in the workstation now that literally walks them through the workstation. So you as a leader, as a sponsor, don't have to do a whole lot other than literally like showing up and being like, hey, let's do this. Let's do your launch. Like you already know what new consultants need to do. All you have to do is sort of walk them through those steps. And I actually just created with the help of Kimberly Polito, a brand new onboarding system that I'm about to roll out for you guys as well. And I also am in the works of creating an opportunity group, which is going to be this whole separate group that you guys can add your potentials to. And then we will have an opportunity, like Zoom, or maybe I'll go live, I haven't really decided yet, once a month. Okay, to help you sort of recruit and answer all of those questions. So you guys, again, don't have to be experts on any of this stuff. And Alexandra, the onboarding system I am creating, literally walks the sponsor through every single step of how to lead their new teammate. That was a very long answer to a very simple question. Sorry about that.
No, that was a good question. I like that too.
Okay, good. So, I mean, and that's the thing is sometimes we just get caught up in the, oh, what do we do next? And guys, even if you didn't have this onboarding system that I'm creating for you, even if you didn't have this stuff, literally, like, take out your consultant guide. If you don't have one, like, since 2012, buy a new one. Okay, it looks like this. It's literally the Cincy Bible, and it's going to tell your new consultant exactly what to do. But when the leader has one, they can literally walk through it. I think it's even changed since then, since this, right? It looks different now. Then you as the sponsor can literally walk them through every single step, like through every page. And I'm not talking about sitting there and having a 3-hour conversation with everyone who you recruit, because like, damn. But like, you could just quickly be like, okay, you're shooting stars first. Let's get your launch party going. So it sort of refreshes your memory on what new consultants need. Okay, especially when you're like an old timer like me. Sometimes I forget like basics are just basics. You can overcomplicate it. So that's like literally the hardest thing about our whole business, you guys, is keeping it simple. Like that's the hardest part of everything that we do, whether it's coaching or it's like leading or it's recruiting or it's booking parties. We overcomplicate it, but it's literally just conversations at the very core. Right, Mandy? Just conversations. Her and I were just talking before the meeting. Okay, so if you guys don't have any other questions.
No.
No? Okay, then I will say peace out. Look at guys, I'm still done at 8:47. Are you proud of me? Who wants to talk for another hour and a half? Just kidding, obviously. Okay, I'll see you guys all over on Facebook. Megan, Miss Smarty Pants. I will message you in a minute with the books that I have for you to choose from. Okay? And then next week we'll do the same thing. So you guys, I have these. Remember how I said I was done? No, not really. I have these. I'm going to be giving one away each week to either whoever shows up or to whoever wins a game if we're playing a game. They're
Party
all like
plans.
used, but honestly, guys, like crisp, like barely used. Because I'm very, very gentle with my books. I won't break the spine. Like I'm very like annoying about that. So I have lots of these here. I need to reread this one because it's been like 100 years since I've read this one. And then once I've done this, this will also be going up. So make sure that you are showing up week after week so that you can get a chance to grab one of these as well. And I am catching up on the old team mail. Since we started this in August, I just sent out like 5 packages, like all in one, because I finally got some cute bubble mailers. And then so hopefully I'll be catching up from now on. Okay, so thank you guys so much for those of you who are showing up live and who are here right now. I really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who are watching the recording, love you too. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.